Happy lunch hour, gang. Saturday afternoon. Hopefully you were out doing something productive to get yourself prepared for the forthcoming chaos that is about to hit our shores. I want to give you just a poignant observation. Maybe you've forgotten this. We live in the United States of America. There is no one coming to our rescue if things go sideways. Nobody's coming to airdrop food. Nobody's coming to resupply us with equipment. Nobody's going to give us more ammunition when we need it. Nobody's bringing you medicine if you need it. There's no place to escape to. This is it. Okay? This is the last bastion of freedom in the world. We've seen the rest of the world fall. South America's in chaos. Mexico's a shithole. England, Germany, France, all gone communist. Russia and Ukraine are at each other's throats. Israel and the Middle East are still fighting a war that's been going on for over 1,000 years. You got a bunch of heathens versus the only civilized society in that area of the world. Canada is a complete mess. This is it. People need to understand this. There's a good reason why you don't hear all the stories about Americans storming the borders of Venezuela or China or North Korea or Iran or Russia. You don't hear all the stories of open borders into North Korea or Afghanistan. No. People are escaping to where they can be safe, they can be free. And the problem that we get is that more and more people that are escaping the terror that they live under, just like in the United States when people leave blue states and go corrupt them and try to turn red states blue, you're seeing that around the rest of the world. Europe has fallen. Europe will be a Muslim continent in a decade. Intifada. This is it. They are trying to overtake the world. They blatantly say it. No problem. You are the last person in your neighborhood, in your area, who's going to prevent it. That the way of life we have grown up with, that our parents had, our grandparents had, we hope that our kids and our grandkids have. Freedom of speech, rights, to dress the way you want, hell, to marry the way you want, is at risk. We've gotten to the point in the world where it's going to blow up. What are the Brits going to do? Like I talked about this morning. Where are they going to go? They're probably coming here. Or the Germans, or the Italians, or the French, or the Hungarians, or the Russians, or the Ukrainians, or the Venezuelans, or the Mexicans, or the Salvadorans, or Hondurans, or yada, yada, yada. They're all coming here. Because this is the last place in the world where people can actually live free until we lose it. We have a scenario going on in the United States right now where nearly half the country wants to become Europe, wants to surrender to heathens. Do you want to do that? Are you willing to live like that? Are you willing to turn your kids over to the government because That's what our vice presidential candidate on the Democrat side passed a law to do. If you don't agree to let the kid chop off body parts, the state's going to take your kids from you. Women, are you going to agree to wear a hijab? Men, do you want to marry a 9-year-old? Oh, there's probably enough people out there that do. Okay. No, that's not civilization. That's not freedom. That's utter insanity is the only word I can use for it. Right now, today, okay, here, middle of August or nearly thereabouts, we in the United States are living in anarchy. We have a president, yeah, okay, who hasn't been seen in weeks, okay? I mean, gee, he had one appearance this week, and that was to acknowledge the Texas Rangers winning the World Series last year. Okay, that was it. What do we do politically? Nothing. Okay, what do we do to fix the southern border, the economy, the crime, foreign relations? Nothing. Joe's back on vacation. We have his vice president who completely forgot that she has a job right now. On day one of my presidency, I'm going to reduce the price of groceries. Really, what have you been doing on day, 1,000 of your vice presidency? May I remind you, you are in control in Washington right now. Basically, you're the one running the country, because you can't tell me that Pudding for Brain is making any decisions. No, you're a puppet. Congress has been on vacation for 2 weeks now. They're not supposed to come back for another month, thereabouts. Who's running the show? We are. That's it. We need to stand up for this country because there ain't nobody else doing it. We need to realize this. Like I said, there is nowhere else to go. Remember the story that you all heard back in, I think it was the 70s, maybe it was the 80s or whatever? The guy that came over from Cuba and landed on the beach, and the reporter was talking to him, and he said, "No, I'm the lucky one. I had somewhere to go." We don't. This is it. Oh, I'll move to Switzerland. I'll move to Ecuador. I'll move to El Salvador. Right, sure. First off, how are you going to get there? Second off, how are you going to assimilate? Okay, no, we're Americans. Obviously, those of you that know me well enough know I have absolutely zero problem with immigrants. I married one. I brought one here. Legally. Okay. Mrs. P didn't come in to change American society to be more Russian. No. She assimilated to become more American. Mrs. P is an avid Trump supporter, too, just in case you didn't know. Okay? Probably as fervent as I am. We need to save this country if we want to save ourselves. Again, like I said this morning, you're watching Great Britain fall apart. First slowly, and then all of a sudden. What are you going to do when that happens here? What are you going to do when all of a sudden they're arresting you for your Facebook posts? When all of a sudden they say, we're confiscating your weapons. Come on, Kamala Harris said she's going to do that within the first 100 days of her presidency. You know why they want to confiscate your weapons? So you have no way to fight back. Look at New Zealand. Look at Australia. Look at Europe. They took away all the weapons. What happens? The government just does whatever the hell they want, and the people have no way of fighting back. They want to fight back, they get arrested. You posted a meme. You're going to jail. 22 months worth. I was just observing the protests. 12 months in jail. This is tyrannical dictatorship. When the infidels, when the heathens, when the uneducated take over, we're screwed. I think you can look at right now what we have running in one party in the United States is the uneducated heathen population. When you think that mutilating your body or killing children is a good thing, you've completely lost any sort of semblance of dealing with reality. We're in for a fight. If you haven't realized it yet, wake up. You can look all around the world and see exactly what's going on. Anywhere. This is the last bastion of freedom. And they will continue to take everything away. They want to take your First Amendment. They want to take your Second Amendment. They want to take your Fifth Amendment. They want to take anything and everything they can from you. What's next? What's going to happen here? Food. We'll shut that off. Water. We'll shut that off. Fuel. We'll shut that off. This is what the Nazis did. This is what Stalin did. This is what Pol Pot did. Every time you see something where the people are oppressed, it's because a dictatorial government wants to come into play. They starve the people, they freeze the people, whatever they can do, because it's effective. This is why we preach what we preach about being ready. All of us are on different levels of where we are in preparedness. There's probably people who have just woke up here in the last couple of weeks and go, holy crap, honey, we need to go buy rice and beans. And there's other people that have been doing this for decades. And you get to a point where you start going, I got to do this for more than me or more than my family. I need to start preparing for all those others that I'm going to bring into the fold. I did some of that this week. I picked up a couple of persuading devices. We will use that at a very, very good price. Did I need more? No. But my thought process was, I'm going to get them now while I can, because if I need to pass out a couple of those to my allies that don't have them, that weren't quite as far along as I was, yeah, okay. So now I have extras of that too. And I'm working on some other things. We all talk about putting food away. How much food you got put away? 6 months, a year, 2, 3. Maybe you want to put away more. Talk about power, electricity. That's going to be a big one. That'll kill, the lack of electricity will kill 90% of the people in a year because we are so used to it. We don't know how to live without it. And people can talk about all sorts of ways to do it. Wind power, gasification, solar, everything. And they're all good. Every one of them has the place. Any way you can do it. eventually a lot of it will run out. You can only stock so much gasoline, so much diesel, so much kerosene, so much propane. Eventually you'll run out. But you do what you can do, because we've got to make it through to the other side. Because we are the last place on Earth. There is nowhere to go. Sorry, SpaceX isn't flying us all to Mars. If the world collapses, the U.S. will be the last to go. And I've said this a million times as well. The Second Amendment is the only thing that stands behind, or stands between worldwide freedom and worldwide tyranny. Because only an idiot is going to come try to take the 300 million some odd guns away from the people in the United States. No other, the people of the United States are better armed than most militaries in the world. Granted, we don't have fighter jets and tanks, but there's something like 3 trillion rounds of ammunition in the hands of the American public. No other country can compete with that. And I hate to tell you this, I don't care how well trained of a soldier you are from the UN. One bullet is still all it takes to stop you. There's a lot of things that we can do. Getting prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole 9 yards is crucial. Do it for yourself. Do it for the people that you're going to bring into the fold. Some people have more resources than others. We all know that. But when it comes time that the balloon goes up, which could be any day now, okay, you're not going to look at somebody and go, well, gee, you know what? I understand you think like I do and you want to protect this country, but you don't have anything, so I'm going to kick you out. Nah, you're not going to do that. Once you got enough for you, then you go, security, my protection, my team, my squad, my platoon, my company, my battalion, my brigade, my division, my army is what means everything. And so you are going to do whatever you can to help to make sure they are fed, clothed, armed to protect you and yours. There's strength in numbers. We all know it. The divide is getting wider and wider and wider. You, by now, probably have a real good idea of who in your area is friend and who in your area is foe. Make sure you're figuring that one out if you don't know already. For a little bit of fun, we're going to add this just at the end here, because we can. Just because I like to, and it's Saturday, and I thought we might have some fun tonight and see who watches 18 and a half minutes into this video. There is a special that Elliot put together for us for a special bundle for an EcoFlow Delta 3, one of the big ones, the new one. Generator, extra battery, solar panel for $4,800, $4,799. Just to give you this, that's $200 cheaper than just the generator and the battery go for. So you get the battery for $200 less, and you get solar panel for free. Okay, I'll link that below if you're interested. You guys know my affinity for EcoFlow products, not customer service, products. But yeah, if you're interested, if you're in the market for adding something like this, or you're trying to build onto a system you've already started, here's a deal. That being said, we're going to give away, not a Delta 3 tonight, unfortunately, can't do something like that. But we will be giving away I believe it was a Delta 2. Well, Yeah, Delta. We're going to give away a Delta 2 tonight. Okay, smaller generator, but still something. Somewhere in the comment that you make, you're going to have a word with the letter J in it. But just remember that. But live stream tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. We will give this away live. Of course, must be present to win. To enter, you've got to, of course, put the state in which you live in and any other instructions that you've already figured out. Same as normal, nothing changed. We'll draw a name. You'll have 3 minutes to say you're there. But somebody will be able to add to their preparedness for when the world blows up. At least have a little bit of power. So like I said, no one's coming to our rescue. So we're going to do it ourselves. Fight on. Pinball out.